Hello, welcome to the stream. And today we're just going to be playing some games of Arena. I think that that since Duels is going to be coming to the app pretty soon, I'm probably just going to stick to the main app unless people specifically request some Duels content. So in the meantime, I'm just going to play probably some more of the Arena, which right now is random 60, so you get a 60 card pool, build the deck. Looks like I also have a challenge, so I will play that from Devil Butcher. Let's see. Personally, I really like Evil and Sage. I think I've mentioned that on the stream. How's it going, Pix? Alright, and let's see. We've got beginner mode. I think I'm going to go with Evil. I think Evil is the one that I enjoy playing the most of the 4 beginner modes. Alright, I'm not sure if this person is on, but I did get a challenge, so I'm going to go for it. I have this Plentiful Dead here, so I'm definitely going to keep that. And if you're playing beginner mode, cards that give you ally abilities and whatnot are very strong. Otherwise, we're just going to mulligan over this entire hand so we find another off turn play. Could keep the Risen. It's really not the best card to play here, so I would like to find another one. It's a little bit of a risk, just mulliganing the whole hand. I could find 4 cards that are not off-turn 1-cost cards, but given that we only have a 30-card deck, the chance that I do find one is pretty high. Oh, that sucks, Pix. Just one of those times, I suppose. Yeah. Beginner's challenge. Hey, I mean, if you want to challenge me, you can challenge me to whatever format you like. Beginner mode, random 30, constructed, or dark draft. Devil Butcher. I'll give this another minute or so. I'm not sure if this person is online. Whoa. Just have to play some Epic then. Have some good games. Alright, yeah, I'm probably just going to start an Arena. We'll see here. I'll come back if I'm just going to join up with the deck that I currently have, which is the Sage Retreat. It's a Sage heavy deck, I think, with a kind of a mix of the rest. So I should be able to open up my deck when in the game and take a look at it. Back to basics. Yeah. Yeah, that can be tough. Alright. Honestly, I kind of like beginner mode more than random 30. I think it's nice to have a theme that goes with your deck. And the beginner mode is going to change when Duels gets released. So what'll happen is instead, beginner mode will just give you 2 of the factions from the Duel set, and that'll be your deck that you play with. So you play beginner mode. It's intended for beginners. So basically, instead of the normal 1 alignment versus 1 alignment, you'll get 2, and it will be with the Duels cards. So it'll be much easier for new players to pick up because you won't have anything fancy like breakthrough or even loyalty. It's just airborne, ambush, blitz, and the last one is tribute. Yeah, would have been good. I like beginner mode. I never played good though. That's my least favorite beginner mode starting deck because you have this. Sometimes you get. I just don't like strategies where you're getting a lot of health, but you're not really doing anything. And you mean you do stuff. But to be honest, I'm not very. I don't like the whole go wide strategy as much. It's not bad. It's just not my style. The play a standard bear and make a lot of human tokens type of thing. Courageous Soul just seems so all in. I mean, sometimes you explode and you just win on turn 2, and sometimes you don't. And then it's sad. Looks like there was someone in the queue, but I think that they just found an opponent right away, so. Well, I mean, I'll just see, we'll just click play it up, and if I see another notification that someone's in the arena, then I'll jump in there. But in the meantime, oh, I know what I have to do. I have all these dual sticks. I'm just going to quickly remove those. That might take a second, because I crafted quite a lot of them. But I can't play those. Alright, let's see. Just on my phone here, just deleting all those dual decks so I can actually open up the deck builder here. Because otherwise, it'll get angry at me. Alright, this is the last one. Alright, we should be good. I don't think I have any other ones besides those, but it's possible. Alright, yeah, we're good now. Alright, let's see what I want to play here. Honestly, the Untouchables deck was pretty fun. I might just play another round of that. Maybe some death metal. Let's see. Let me just change my avatar here. Oh, I guess we're going with the Angel of Light avatar. Alright, playing some Constructor. Now this one is the big Sage Champions. The big Monsters deck. No, I can. I was just explaining that earlier in the stream, but basically I could open up duels and I could play duels, but since it'll be in the app pretty soon, I don't want to have to continually make and erase decks, and I'd rather just play when I'm going to be getting more opponents, since in the beta it's a lot of people just challenging each other. So for this, I'm just probably going to stick to the base game, since I expected it to be in the app in the next 2 weeks or so. Alright, we're going first, so I'm probably going to toss the Ice Drake and the Keeper of Secrets. Both these cards are not what you want to see on the beginning of the game. Lessons Learned and Flashfire are both fine, but Flashfire is a draw 2, so I don't need Lessons Learned, since this card's either a draw 2 or a late game move. And then we'll also toss the Savage Uprising because it's unlikely to be useful at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan 4 here. And we have a hand full of nothing that we can do. We will probably play this Ancient Chant just because it's unlikely. It's probably better. Basically, there's not very much my opponent could do that would be better than an Ancient Chant. And this also sets me up for a surprise attack if I want to Rage into your X on my opponent's turn. I mean, I didn't know that was a Rage into your X, but I have a lot of champions in my deck, so the chance that I surprise attack, that I draw 2 into a champion is very high here. And usually, if I can do something better than a draw 2 on my turn, I'll consider doing it, even if it's doesn't do anything to the board. It's just hard for the opponent to match my effective draw 3 here. Yeah, I'm gonna make 2 demon tokens and play Dark Knight on my turn. Now, playing a Dark Knight on my turn is a mistake because it has Blitz anyway, so you could always play Dark Knight on your own turn. Probably just going to go ahead and Flash Fire to get rid of that Dark Knight right now. So I don't have a real board wipe in my hand. I will go ahead and try to greedily surprise attack out of Rage into your X to block one of these demon tokens. I might get punished for it, but with 3 cards in hand, soon to be 4, I'm not too worried. I mean, I guess the worst thing would be no escape. Anything but no escape would be not a big deal. Alright, Infernal Gatekeeper making a demon token. So you want to make your attacks first if you're planning on making an attack. Now, Zegred could pass here, but by playing this then attacking, it's kind of setting up Zegred to be blown out here, because I'm going to surprise attack out this champion, which is going to block. I'll reveal both my battle cries. If you have two of the same card, that's usually what you want to reveal, so that your opponent can only play around one of the cards in your hand. And by spending gold first, right, I don't have to worry about this. So if I might choose not to make this play if my opponent still had their gold up, but now that I know they don't, it's hard for them to punish me for making this. Taquitos. Taquitos sound really good right now. And one of the reasons we're running Ice Strike in this deck is for these decks like this that are just going to pump out a lot of tokens. We will expend all our champions, and then we'll get in right now for 17. Alright, yeah, we can't block again this turn, so we will be taking 4 here, going down to 20. Raging Sharks is a fan favorite. I think the fact that it has to attack every turn is usually an upside, because it means that you can attack with it and have something like a Rage in your hand, even when the attack would be bad. You can make it look like you are making a good attack. Or you're making an attack because you have to, but it's actually a good attack. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens here when we attack with this. If the right play here, I think, would be double block, but it's really vulnerable to Rage. So the opponent could go for the double block here, but it's just a little sketchy. Probably in their situation, I mean, you want to block this somehow. You either want to block it with a demon token so that you take no damage, or both. And I think that since you're already losing the demon token in that scenario, since it's not worth taking 12 here, you might as well just put the Infernal Gatekeeper in the way as well, because then you're trading the Infernal Gatekeeper for the 12/10 and you still got your demon token. But it's going to go for the Drain Essence here and making another demon token. And that's interesting. I could even expend all these champions right now. Honestly, it's a pretty good play. Don't think that was the right play on their part. Should have tried to block first, probably. Now I can just play this and expend all their champions. But it's an easy mistake to make. When to play cards. Do you play them before blocks or after blocks? So usually if you're planning on blocking something with something you already have in play, and you want to do the block first. So you're going to make the block, and then you still have a chance to play cards, so that's when you play your trick. In this case with Drain Essence, I would probably block with a demon token, pass back, let me do something else, and then when I pass to Zegred, then play the Drain Essence to finish it off. You might not get the demon token, but that's fine. Otherwise, something like this might happen where you just take 12 and your Drain Essence doesn't actually kill the Raging Sharks. So I'm going to pass here. I could even Frantic Digging and recycle away the Ancient Chant to draw 2 cards. So that might happen. See how bad it is. Next turn I'm taking a potential 17 if my opponent attacks with Demon, 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 and then Infernal Gatekeeper. So I die to the Risen pretty easily. I could play Savage Uprising to take down the Infernal Gatekeeper, in which case I would take less damage. I take 9 less damage, so I would take only 8. Right, 2 demons would get through. But yeah, I am probably going to Frantic Digging away the Steel Golem, since I don't think it's going to be very useful in this matchup. Once again here, like I probably would have just attacked with the Infernal Gatekeeper. Force me to make a decision here. Do I want to take 9? Do I want to block? And not take 9, but then take 12 and they don't lose anything. But now I can freely just do whatever I want with my gold. Which is probably going to be blocking a demon token and then taking some damage. But I will Frantic Digging to go ahead and see if I find anything in the next 2 cards. So, it's actually not unreasonable for me to just start my turn here. I don't take it. I basically just gain 10 damage, 10 health by not playing anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the gain health here and start my turn. I'm not going to spend my gold. I don't want to get attacked, basically. This way I can get in for 6, basically for free. I might be able to win with Raging T-Rex here if I Battle Cry it. So let's just go ahead and do this first. See what we get. I want to actually leave this prize tag because I have Lessons Learned in this deck. I could put this Frost Giant, although any evil card would make another demon token. So that's my other option. I could Battle Cry here after blocks, would be 15 minus 4 is 11, plus 9 is 20. Yeah, so that's the play. I mean, if I get in for 6, yeah. Right now I have 13 damage in my hand over 2 gold. So 6 won't cut it. 6 plus 13 is 19, we're 2 off. But I could, if this gets blocked with a demon token, give all my champions breakthrough and +3/+3, and then potentially just win by attacking with both and then flame striking. So we'll see. If we have this, I think we win here. Although, we do probably either win or lose, because these are a lot of demon tokens. I did play this Ice Strike pretty aggressively, but I think it was the right play. We did get that 12 damage in for free. This deck really likes having early damage because it can just get a bunch of extra damage for free towards the end, which is what our deck is trying to do. We're just trying to chunk out maybe half their health, and then we'll go for the win with a Battle Cry or a Frost Giant or something like that. Unfortunately, a Savage Uprising deals 9 damage to each 1-cost champion, which means it's useless against these demon tokens. Alright, yeah, see, this is a big mistake here. You have so many demon tokens. You should just block with 3. That way you take down the T-Rex, but maybe they have a Hasty Retreat for us. It's Hasty Retreat or bust here. And I did show these, so the opponent should know about them, but they may have forgotten. Battle Cry is not exactly a meta card. Alright. It's a bit underplayed. Alright, this will bring our opponent down to 1. And then if they Drain Essence on their own turn, then if they play Drain Essence here, then I would actually lose. So I am somewhat betting on the fact that they won't have any health gain. But we'll see. I don't think they have any health gain because they probably would have played it before taking 9 here. Otherwise, they'd be dead to any 0-cost card that deals damage. So we're going to pass. Looks like they don't have a play to make. They could recall Demon Breach, but then they would die because it deals 1 damage. Alright. And then if they make an attack, then we just kill them. I guess Gudgeon would also do it. If they play Gudgeon, then we also lose. But it's Gudgeon or Drain Essence or Bust. I guess, yeah. I'm gonna make their demons bigger. They've got a lot of demons. That looks like it's gonna be the win then. Yeah, don't do Infernal Gatekeeper. Can you imagine? Choosing to lose 1 health to make a demon token when you're at 1. I don't think I've ever been in that situation. They must be really demon heavy. They must have that card that breaks all non-demons. And they just got really excited and put all the demons in the deck. I mean, I don't think that's a bad strategy. I think there are some cards like Raxa is just always good, right? No matter what hand you have on an empty board, on a board with some demons on it, on a board with your opponent having some 2 health champions, it's so versatile. Whereas something like Infernal Gatekeeper, oh wow, can be tough. We're going to go ahead and Flame Strike them. That's going to be the game. Alright, I'm actually going to change my avatar here. We're going to go for probably the Jungle Queen or the Raging T-Rex. I'm not sure. Let's go for the Raging T-Rex. For this deck. Yeah, and we can continue quick magic it. Honestly, this deck's just fun to play. What is I'm trying to think of what the Death Metal deck actually is. I'll queue up for this with the same deck, and I'll view the Death Metal deck. Because I might want to play that one. I remember making it recently, but I don't remember what it actually was. Jungle Queen. Jungle Queen's a good avatar as well. Alright, let's see what this deck was again. Oh, this was the Army of the Apocalypse deck with Kark in it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Could make another deck though. Let's see. In the meantime, what do we want to do? I haven't really made a drinker combo deck, so I could do that. So, the drinker combo, right? The drinker combo. You got Drinker of Blood, alright? Drinker of Blood, when another champion is broken and this card's in play, you heal 2 and deal 2 to the opponent. So what we want to do is have a Drinker of Blood out and then have a bunch of small champions out and then get rid of all of them. And that is going to basically kill our opponent. Or if it doesn't kill them, we're going to just do big swings with that. So a big part of this deck, we're going to call this the Drinker Combo. Big part of this deck is 2 things. You definitely want to play Wither and Flashfire. That's going to be the core combo piece. So we have Drinker of Blood here. We also have Wither, which is right here. This one deals 3 damage to a champion, and then also all the ones with the same name. So if you have a lot of zombies out or something like that, then you can use that to get rid of all of them. And we're also going to play Flashfire. And don't be afraid to use these cards as their own. What deck did I just use? I just plugged in the deck that I was just playing. So right now, if I queue up, it'll be the same deck, which is the Untouchables deck with the. I just want to get a game where I actually get to use the Steel Golem and the Sea Titan with Unblockable or Breakthrough. I think that would be really sweet. Anyway, so here's our core here. Now, otherwise, we're mostly a control deck. You definitely want to have ways to get your Drinker of Blood out, and you want to take advantage of anything that makes a lot of tokens. So usually in this deck, I'll play Plentiful Dead. It's going to be Evil Heavy. We're going to play Necrovirus, Zombie Apocalypse. Those are, in my opinion, Intranessence. I think these cards go in every drinker deck. And the nice thing about Necrovirus is that you can play your Drinker of Blood, get 3 zombies from Necrovirus, because it makes the zombies when it's banished, and then you can play your Wither or Flashfire. We're going to put in Zombie Apocalypse. That's going to give us multi-use because if we have Drinker out, just incidentally, then we can use the Zombie Apocalypse to break everything, and also it makes a lot of zombies, which we can then use with Drinker Blood. We'll go ahead and play Necrovirus. This will probably also be a Misguided Herald deck, mainly because we just want to find ways to get to our Drinker of Bloods. And they're small champions, so they die to Flashfire, and that's also a nice benefit. Alright. There's a couple of interesting options here. I could play Sea Titan, honestly. This is going to be a slow deck. It's not going to be a fast one. Same with Ancient Chant and Crystal Golem. These are all fine. Crystal Golem has a nice synergy where it's a draw 2 that also activates Drinker of Blood. But you don't need to go all in on this Drinker of Blood. I mean, you want your deck to be able to function even if you don't have Drinker of Blood. That's going to be a big part of it. Wild in this deck is probably just going to be a splash. I'm just going to occasionally save here, just in case we queue up. So I don't know what actually happens. I think it was fixed, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I'll show you the deck. I'll show you the deck that I'm playing right now. It was actually, I made it kind of a while back, but I'll explain what's going on. So we have, here's our deck, right? We have big champions, right? This is the big and dumb deck, as I call it. We have big champions. We have Column, Raging T-Rex, and we also have Steel Golem, Sea Titan, and Frost Giant. So these are our big champions. That's going to be something like what, 13, I think, plus the Misguided Heralds. And the point of this deck is we're going to get our big champions out. We're just going to do normal. We're going to force our opponent to block. Maybe eat a couple of our champions, and then when the moment is right, boom, Battle Cry, or Deadly Raid. And we get unblockable or breakthrough on our big champions. Even if you have 2 out, that's going to be a big hit. Even a 1 plus a 0-cost card or a Ice Drake is going to be a big deal. So that's how this deck works. We force our opponent to clear the board for us whenever we need to by just doming them. We have some burn in here. We have Flame Strike and Savage Uprising. And the reason for that is, I just call it untouchables because the 2 untargetable champions. Yeah, these 2 cards just deal direct damage, but otherwise the core is pretty straightforward. We're playing Vanishing and some Blitz champions to go along with our group pumps, and then we have Ancient Chance for Anti-Diggings for card draw because this deck has a lot of cards that we're going to play for their use, like Flame Strike. Not a lot of cards that we can play to draw 2. Alright. Drinker combo, where was I? So in this deck, right now it's looking good. Alright. Now I'm not sure what Sage cards we want to play. So I'm going to do the wild first. I usually stick with what is clear to me. I think we want 3 surprise attacks and 3 Kongs. But that's only, the reason I'm going with the Kongs here is because I think it's likely we'll play Misguided. We are playing Misguided Herald, so having more champions will help with the Misguided Herald threshold, as I call it. But you could play something like Draka's Fire if you wanted to have a deck that was better against tokens. There's nothing really that works extremely well with Drinker of Blood, where it doesn't kill the Drinker of Blood, but it does 3 damage to everything. You could play Fireball, but honestly, at that point, it's probably just better for you to play just break all effects, or Brave Square if you want to make your Drinker of Blood unbreakable. Alright, and the nice thing about Surprise Attack is we can Surprise Attack out our Drinker of Blood and then play a Break All on our own turn. So we are going to go ahead and play Angel of Death in this deck. I think it's very good in general, and also it just works very nicely with Drinker of Blood. And let's see what else. We probably want some number of Final Tasks here. So right now we'll start with 2. You can Final Task out your Drinker of Blood on your own turn and attack with it. Because it's unbreakable on your turn, it actually stays out. So your final, if you have a Drinker of Blood in the discard pile, your final task will be a Drinker of Blood plus. Plus it's very good with Angel of Death, Misguide, and Kong. So overall, a great card in this deck. We are going to want some more champions. I might play Xanos here. I'm not sure how many cards we have right now. In Sage. Again, I'm looking for champions, so it'll probably be something like Thought Plucker, Crystal Golem, and then maybe that'll be it. Maybe 3 Thought Pluckers, 2 Crystal Golems, something like that. Just more champion density for our zombie apocalypses and our Misguided Heralds. So that's the main reason I'm playing the Crystal Golems here. I think I don't need them that much, but they fulfill a nice role. You could also play Memory Spirit or Sea Titan. I guess I was considering Sea Titan, so I think I should try Sea Titan out, just because I don't play as much Sea Titan as I would like to. So I'm going to go with 3 Sea Titan and 1 Crystal Golem split, and we'll use the foil one. Alright, and we'll go over to the Sage Zeros here. We definitely want to have some number of Banish Alls in this deck, so we're going to play 3 Amnesias and probably just 2 Hasty Retreats. Honestly, this deck is, we could go with 1 and 1 other one. like 1-8 Arcane Research, because this deck is pretty defensive. We're not going to be beating our opponent down. We're going to go for the trick. So I'm going to play Arcane Research because it can dig for Drinker of Blood, Misguided Heralds, and Flashfire, and Wither. And if you're in the mid game, you can get whatever else you need. So that's all going to be good and dandy. Alright, so let's go over to our evil cards here. Let's see what we have. So we have 27 from that, plus 6 is 33. So we just need another 7 one-cost cards. So probably going to be all evil cards here. I am going to probably play some number of the Gudgeons. Just start with 3. Oh. Alright, we're up against Paris 101. Big and Dumb. I could just rename this deck to Big and Dumb. Alright, the opponent's going first here. I'm going to mulligan both of these to try and find another wild card so I can surprise check out the Raging T-Rex. This hand is all about the Raging T-Rex. I don't even really care about the rest of the hand. I just want a surprise deck, Raging T-Rex, and 2 wild cards. I even have the Raging T-Rex avatar here. That way our opponent knows that we mean business. They're going to Fairy Trickster us. Go ahead and reveal our Battle Cry and Wolf's Bite. Those are our only options. Fairy Trickster here lets you play a card off the top of a player's deck. It's the only way right now that you can play an opponent's card. Because if you use it on their deck, then you get to play their card. Now I do think that using it, so ideally this is the ideal scenario, right? You play it on your turn, then you can use it on your opponent's turn because it does give the any champion you reveal ambush. However, it is weak to a lot of things, so I'm going to be banishing it right now. Just going to be sad for them because they won't be able to use it. They just lost their use because they're trying to get to use it off turn, basically. Alright, they're going to banish it. I still haven't spent my gold yet, but I don't really have anything good to spend it on, so I'll just be drawing 2 with Deadly Raid. Alright. No punish, sadly. We are going to Wolfspite that. Muse here. If they had a banish all in the discard, banish my entire discard pile, now would be a good time to play it so I don't get value out of a Wolfspite or a Wolfspite or a, I forget the other one's called, Flame Spike. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the surprise deck because I have Lessons Learned and I have a Battle Cry in hand, so I probably won't need to Lessons Learn the Deadly Raid. And they're just going to pass, so I'm just going to start my turn here. Now I will have to do something, otherwise I'm going to be discarding to maximum hand size. So probably going to Frantic Dig and discard Ancient Chant and recycle my other 2 cards. See if I can't find a real play to make. So I do have a Sea Titan, that's an option. Yeah, sure, let's do it. I will lose the Wolf token. I do, Tribute is mandatory, so I play this, I have to return a champion to its owner's hand. So I'll be removing my own Wolf token here, but Sea Titan is a pretty big threat, so this will put a clock on our opponent. And with things like Battle Cry, we should be good to go. Basically, no matter what happens, this Sea Titan, I shouldn't say no matter what happens, but it's very hard to get rid of a Sea Titan without doing something to the entire board. They are playing Lying in Wait in their deck, so maybe they'll have another Lying in Wait for me, just to get rid of my Sea Titan when it attacks. So I should consider playing Wolfspite here and then group attacking with Sea Titan and the Wolf. Alright, so Battle Cry is an absolute terrible card for them to get, because you just gives all their champions breakthrough and +3 offense and +3 defense. Now, in general, Fairy Trickster, it's actually usually better to choose your own deck, because you win if your deck gets empty. Also, if you play an opponent's card, it goes into their discard pile. If you play one of their champions and it gets bounced, it goes back to their hand. There's lots of reasons why you don't want to do your opponent's deck, except for one thing. The tilt factor. if you're using your opponent's cards to win, then they might get angry and just play worse, I suppose. But that's pretty much the only reason I can think of. So I'm going to go ahead and play into Lying in Wait here. We'll see if they have a second one. It is possible I get blown out. It is not a Lying in Wait. I think they're just going to move to blocks here. If they do, I'll probably just Savage Uprising and break both of these. Yep. I'm going to deal 9 damage each 1-cost champion, which will remove both of those, and there's 5 damage left in this, so it does die to Spike Trap. But the value of just removing both those Fairy Tricksters and potentially getting in for 11 here is too high to give up. Exactly. Yeah, hopefully, you know, you're playing cards in your deck that work with the other cards in your deck, so you just always want to Fairy Trickster your own stuff, is what I'm getting at. Alright, so in hand, I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so our opponent is effectively at 5. I'm going to go ahead and Wolf Spite that. We'll recycle not the Ancient Chant, so we don't go over. I should just be able to win with Flame Strike, Lessons Learned, Flame Strike, Flame Spike. Fairy Trickster number 3. Oh man, this needs to be an avatar. Just the face. Frantic Digging. Now, Frantic Digging is a good card to get. We're going to Frantically Dig. Not sure what for. Maybe a Wave Transformation. Now, looking at my deck, it probably wouldn't seem like I'm running Burn. A lot of people splash Surprise Attack plus 1 other card, so I've seen people just splash for Battle Cry. It's rare, but I have seen it. But it was also playing Savage Uprising, so in theory, they'll probably know that I'm running some amount of wilds, but they have to take the risk here and just assume that I'm not going to burn them out. So at this point, if I start my turn with Flame Strike and Metacarp Pile, I win. They could have an Amnesia here, which would stop us. Or something else that banishes it. Alright, they're just going to concede. I guess they have seen the writing on the wall. And we are going to go ahead and finish that deck that I was working on. Game Paros? The combo. I think I am probably going to have to fill it out. Yeah, I do. That's fine. I know it was in it. We're going to go over to Wilds. We were playing Kong and Surprise Attack. And then we're going to go over to Sage. And I was running 3. 1 foil, Crystal Golem. 3 Thought Pluckers, 3 Sea Titans, and a 3 Amnesia, as well as one Haste Retreat and 1 Arcane Research. And then as far as the evil cards go, we're running Angel of Death, 2 Final Tasks, 3 Gudgeons. And I think from here we were trying to figure things out. So let's see. Right now I'm running 36 cards. So I need 4 more 1-cost cards. And I just need to fill out my evil zeros. So could play Xanos. I don't think I have any Punishers, so I should probably run Wing Death here, at least as a one-off. I need 6, so I'll probably run it as a 3-of and just try and get some gameplay with it, because I actually really enjoy this card. I think it's one of my pet cards that I just really enjoy playing. And then I could even go 3 Final Task 2 Wing Death, but I'm going to go ahead and play 3 just so I can get some games with it. And then I could play Necromancer Lord here. It's definitely not needed, but it is quite good with Sea Titan. We are running 3 Sea Titans, so I think I will go ahead and run the Necromancer Lords. So we'll start off with a deck list like this. Might need some tweaking. I don't actually have that many ways to make tokens. Just Zombie Apocalypse and Plentiful Dead and Necrovirus. So that's going to be our main way. Alright. Then we're just going to go over to free evil cards. We are going to go ahead and play pretty much just some control cards. So we'll play Consume. And let's see, we need 13, so we need another 4. So it'll be 3 of another card plus 1 of one more. So I'll run 1 Corpse Taker. So we are 1 of. It works very well with Sea Titan. So I'll pretty much be saving that for Sea Titan. And then I'll probably run 3 Rax's Curse. Yeah, I could run Guild Demon or Corpse Monger, but I'll run the Rax's Curse. Oh, I'm over. 26. We'll go down the Necromancer Lords, I guess. Something's up. 2211. I did my math wrong here. Wait. So 16. And then I want 24 here. So I'll take 1 Necromancer Lord. Evil Champion. Then 12 zeros. Yeah, okay, so I was just making a mistake. I'm going to go down to 2 Rax's Curse. You probably don't need 3, especially with the Consumes, the Withers, and the Flash Fires. Alright, so this is what our deck looks like right now. We will play it a bit, and then it'll get some tuning. But this is our Drinker combo deck. And basically, my suggestion is that whenever you're making a deck, especially if you don't already have a template, like another deck that you're basically extending from, then you probably want to just build it kind of loosely. Don't worry too much about what cards you're actually playing. You know, it's obviously good to have some explanation, at least for yourself. But once you have a deck list, then you can play some games and you'll learn what works and what doesn't much faster. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll stick with we'll use the Jungle Queen. You don't usually get to do the Jungle Queen avatar because not playing the Jungle Queen very often, but we'll go ahead and use it right now. I don't have a Necromancer Lord or anything like that. I guess I have Murderous Necromancer, but he's not in the deck. Where was it? I'll talk a little bit about what I was getting at here. So there's a sort of a combo here with Sea Titan where when you play Sea Titan, you return a champion to its owner's hand. So Sea Titan actually works really well with anything that puts it into play. If you can play Corpse Taker, you can get your Sea Titan back, and then Sea Titan your Corpse Taker. You can play Necromancer Lord, and then Necromancer Lord your Sea Titan into play, and then Sea Titan your Necromancer Lord. Same thing goes for Misguide Herald. You play Misguide, you get back you get your Sea Titan into play from your deck, and then you can return your Misguide Herald to your hand. So the return a champion to its owner's hand, I often find myself using it on my own champions just as much as my opponents. As far as what we want to keep in the discard pile, we are running Zombie Apocalypse and Final Task and Necromancer Lord, so all of these things will encourage us to have champions in our discard pile. Necromancer Lord and Final Task mean that we want 1-cost champions especially, but we have nothing that uses any events in the discard pile, so in Corpse Taker I suppose, so we can just spend those willy-nilly. It's funny, like looking through my old decks and thinking, I don't even remember what this deck is. We definitely did it on the stream. I have no idea what it is. I guess this is an Army of the Apocalypse deck. Uses Crystal Golem and Frantic Digging. Oh right, this is the Frantic Digging deck that you Smash and Burn. Now I remember. mean, this is another deck. I don't think I've ever actually shown this one on stream, so I'll talk about it here for a second. Buffer mid-range is, I mean, I just call it, this is just my name. Sometimes I use placeholder names for what the deck is supposed to be, basically, but it's just a deck that plays tempo champions like White Knight and Silver Dragon, which, you know, doesn't sound great on the surface, but it just runs lots of effects that are efficient from different colors. So we have a mostly good base with some Noble Unicorns and Angels of Light and Angel of the Gate and Gold Dragon. So we have the one Gold Dragon there, mostly just to kind of bring this core good together. The goal of this deck is actually to combat the aggressive wild deck. So we just have a lot of healing, but it's not a deck that intends to win with Kark. It's a deck that intends to always have some evasive champions out, or just slowly chip away at our opponent's resources and get in, you know, for 5 to 10 damage a turn until we just eventually win with our airborne champions and our difficult to block large champions. Overall, it's a reasonable deck. It is somewhat slow gameplay wise, but it works pretty well. So if you are having trouble with wilds, I can add this one to the list, the stream deck list. I'll also play it at some point, but that probably won't be until the next stream on Friday. Let's see, it's random 60 right now, so I'm trying to think what the next one is. It's either random 30 or dark draft. I can't think of the order off the top of my head right now. Let me just add this deck in here. Buffer mid-range. All right. Let me go back to that. Perfect. Perfect. I really didn't actually get to. I didn't really play any in the arena this time. I liked my arena deck, but I think this is another deck that isn't super strong. It's reasonable. This one's probably a little bit above average, but I wouldn't say that it is standout. Basically, what I have here is I have a couple of on turn plays. I mean, the main weakness is that I don't have very many champions. So I have Avenging Angel that costs a gold, Alara, Knight of Alara, Knight of Shadows. So that's 4. I have Sea Titan, that's 5. Timebender is 6. And that's it. So if I lose enough of my 1-cost champions, then I'll have trouble. Basically, in a 30-card deck, 1 in every 5 cards will be a champion here. A 1-cost champion. I do have a lot of zeros. I think I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So half the deck is 0 cost. So I also have the potential weakness of just running out of things to do for my gold. I'll probably be forced to spend my gold to do things like draw 2 with Divine Judgment a lot. And I don't have strict draw 2s. I don't have things like Ancient Chant, Erase, and Erratic Research. I have Ceasefire, but not Frigid Messengers or anything like that. So basically I'm going to end up using a lot of these cards as draw, and then hopefully I can clear the game out reasonably quickly, because I might struggle to do anything if my champions get removed. That being said, I think that there's some quality in there. Oh yeah, I can't do this at the same time. I'm just gonna join the arena, since it does not seem like there's anybody queuing up right now. You know, I am actually pretty excited to see what people do with the new duels cards. If they just try and incorporate them into archetypes that already exist, or if they try and make things that are new. I mean, I know that people have been talking about Embryo Ritualist, which is that champion. It's a 12 offense, 9 defense, and with blitz, and it's a 1 cost with tribute. You can break everything. So basically, you either get a big blitz champion, or you can clear everything. It's like an apocalypse. But it has a lot of synergy with effects like Misguided Herald and Necromancer Lord and Final Task, because basically Enterprise deck, anything that lets you affect champions lets you get it into play, and it doesn't have the loyalty restriction like Angel Death, but it doesn't leave anything behind. You can't use it to draw too, so off turn it has no effect. It's either a champion, or it's an apocalypse, an on-turn blitz champion. It's like a rampaging worm type thing, either a 12/9 with blitz or just an apocalypse. Yes, exactly. It breaks itself. Yes, it actually says it on the card. I mean, I think since I'm not finding an opponent here, what I'll do is I'll just pop open a couple of duels cards here, and then I'll call the end of the stream. So I'm gonna be closing this for just a second here. So I'll just talk about some of the duels cards that I think are extra special here. Hold on. Yeah, but basically, it does break itself, and I mean, we've seen a lot of different types of break all ors, but I think it'll be interesting having it be on a champion instead of on an event. Yeah, were you not here? I did actually go over some of the duels cards at some point, but it's possible you weren't around when I was here. So let's go ahead and oh, didn't do that. Let's go ahead and do something like this. All right. So let's just go ahead and only do duels. So the card that I'm talking about here is Embryo Ritualist. So Embryo Ritualist is a 12 offense, 9 defense champion with Blitz and Tribute. You may break all champions, including this champion. So either you break everything, or you get a 12/9 with Blitz. So and you can't play it off turn unless you have something that lets you get it out off turn. But if you surprise attack it out off turn, then you could break everything, just like Angel of Death. So it works pretty well with anything that works well with Angel of Death, basically. All right, let's see what we got. There is, I think this card is kind of neat. So we have a 6 offense, 10 defense Blitz champion. Tribute up to 2 target champions get +6 offense this turn. So it can target itself. You can target other champions with it. You could play this and make 2 of your human tokens into 7 offense, 1 defense champions, and you could get in for 20 potentially, or you could just pump it and you could pump something else. So maybe you could make your Pegasus. You can make your Pegasus really big and then try and attack with an Airborne, Knight of Glory, something like that. So I'm curious to see what people try and do with this card. He is a kamikaze, yes. He is a kamikaze. Let's see, we have we have a couple of, I'm just probably going to do a couple of cards from each color just to talk about them. Like this card is pretty different than a lot of the cards that we've seen so far. So Breath of Life, you either gain 12 health, or you can return a good champion from your discard pile to play, and the player's turn is puts 2 human tokens into play. So you can bring back your own good champion on your turn, and then you also get 2 humans, or on your opponent's turn, and they get 2 humans. But what's relevant here is that it is like Resurrection, so it doesn't go away at the end of the turn, it just stays out forever. We got a conditional board clear here: Subjugate, draw 2 cards, or banish all champions with 7 defense or more. So we got rid of everything that has more than 6. I actually was playing a deck on stream that was a Subjugate plus Rex's Displeasure deck that played a lot of demon tokens, and the Subjugates would dodge it. But basically, you can, just like any of the other conditional board wipes, you can build your deck around it, or you can play it where some of your champions get hit by it, but in theory, if those champions are out, then you're winning. You can also do things like buff your opponent's champions with Go Wilds or Brave Squire if you really want to. Alright. We've also got, let's see, let's go move away from the good cards. I am excited about Eager Necromancer. So this is a 0 cost, 1 offense, 1 defense champion with banish up to 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile, and you get a zombie token for each one. So if you play it and your opponent has 3 champions in the discard pile, you just get this plus 3 zombie tokens, and you banish those cards. So it's a lot of bodies in play. For 0, you get potentially 7 offense and 7 defense, but split across 4 things. And returning this to your hand could be fun. You could play something like the Risen or anything that buffs all of your evil champions to get a nice benefit, or plague zombies. So maybe it'll slot into those zombie decks, or maybe people will try and use this just as a general temple card. That'll be interesting to see. Exactly, the Pegasus combo. Endbringer is also a human, so if you really wanted to, you could Pegasus Endbringer out, just not break everything. Alright, what else we got? We have I saw a lot of people, when I was playing Duel, I saw a lot of people trying to play this card, which makes a demon token with Blitz this turn, and then all of your evil champions get +1 offense and +1 defense this turn. So it's a group pump for all your evil champions, and you basically get a 5/5 with Blitz, but that turns into a 4/4, like any other demon token. Plus, that demon token looks awesome. I just love the 9 eyes. This is much more kind of like how I would imagine a demon being, with something that does not seem like something that you recognize. Alright, let's do some Sage cards. So I talked about Garbage Golem on stream the other day. I think this one is a different way of doing loyalty. So before, loyalty was something that, just a way to, loyalty and ally abilities are both ways to get you to want to use multiple cards of the same color in your deck. So if you have Raging Trex in your deck, it can't be the only wild card, because then you'll never get to draw 2 cards off of it. And Garbage Golem does something similar, but with tribute. So you basically show the top card of your deck, and then you draw it. And if that top card of your deck was Sage, then you'll draw a second card. So if you have a Sage card, if your deck has a lot of Sage cards in this, then this will be basically just a champion that draws you 2 cards most of the time. And it is different than Loyalty 2 in that you can play it when it's your last card in your hand, or if you don't have any Sage cards in your hand, and it will always draw you at least 1. But basically, the more Sage cards you have, the better this card gets. If your deck's all Sage, it will always draw you 2. Alright, what else we have? I was excited about this card, Soulstorm, which each player chooses a champion they don't control, you break the rest. So it's a lot like Standalone, where each player chooses a champion they do control, but in this case, you get to pick the opponent's champion for them. So if your opponent has a Steel Golem and a Wolf token, then you can choose the Wolf token, and the Steel Golem gets broken. And it works really well, of course, if you only have one champion out, or if for some reason all of your champions are just as strong as each other. So Soulstorm is an exciting card for people that like having a couple of big things out. Alright, what else? We should probably do another Sage card here. We have Storm Dragon. So Storm Dragon deals 2 damage to any number of targets. So it's sort of like a Flash Fire type of effect. And it is interesting in that Sage usually gets to deal damage in chunks of 2. But this one doesn't hit everything. It's not indiscriminate, so it works really well if you are playing a lot of champions that would be vulnerable to Flash Fire, or if you want to do something like the Drinker of Blood combo, where you're just trying to choose which things you want to deal 2 damage to. So yeah, those are some Sage cards. We'll jump over to Wild here. So we've got, let's see. We have Canopy Ranger is a fun card, in my opinion. It's an 8 offense, 8 defense ambush champion. But when you play it, you give a champion +6 offense and +6 defense this turn. So this champion can buff itself, and then it blocks as a 14 ambush. That becomes an 8/8 the next turn. Or you can play it as a combat trick. You can play it in the middle of combat and buff your thing that's being blocked or blocking, and then you still have this 8/8 ambush out. So it's kind of like just a good card. That's also an 8/8 that I can't think of the name. Avenger of Covenant, I think, is the name of it. But what's neat about this is also you can do things like Final Task it, or you can just play it with Pegasus if you want, because it's human. So it has lots of different opportunities for this. It's very splashable. In general, Duels is going to be splashable because there's just not loyalty effects. So there's cards that care about color, but not any loyalty 2s. Alright, so then we also have, let's go ahead and do Howl here. So Howl is an interesting card. This card gives a champion +5 offense and +5 defense this turn, or you put 2 Wolf tokens into play. So there aren't any cards in Duels which are 0 cost and have the 1 gold draw 2 cards. And that is an important distinction, because basically sometimes players get really confused when they see that for the first time. Playing the game for the first time, they don't understand how powers work yet. So instead, what you'll see is or options that they're both 0 cost effects. So when you play this, you can play it as a make 2 bodies. Alright, now my next turn I can attack for 4. or you can play it as a chump effect, or you can play it with a group pump, like Jungle Queen style, where your wolves are getting a big bonus, or you can just use it for the +5 offense, +5 defense, maybe just deal 5 damage to your opponent if it's unblocked, or buff up your Avenging Angel, that kind of thing. Alright, and then I also touch on Forrest Dweller here because it's very relevant with how this one, while it's in play, your other wild champions have +3 offense and +3 defense. So your wolf champions will be 5/5s in this case instead of 2/2s. And note that I think there was this issue where some people were opening this card and it was reading as +2/+2, but in the game it had the correct effect of +3/+3. So for anyone watching that was wondering about that, it is in fact +3 offense and +3 defense to your other wild champions. Yeah, and so those are some cards from Duels, and once the set gets released into the app, which will be pretty soon, then I'll be playing with more of these cards on a regular basis, building decks with them. Anyway, I'm going to be calling it here, and we're going to be wrapping it up, but I'll be back on Friday here, so have some good games, and I'll see you all then.